we can start. Hello and welcome everyone to the second session of Leo Officers Training Program. This is organized by the Leo integration of GAT into the ISAME constitutional area. I am very happy to have you all here with us. Today's speakers are PID Sangeeta Jatia and past Leo advisory panelist Anand Mehta. With us today, we have only two speakers and both will be an interactive session. You can use the chat box, you can raise your hands if you want to speak anything. And as for the feedbacks, we will have a 5 minutes time after both the sessions as an open session. So you can discuss, you can say anything you want, and you can also write your suggestions in the chat box. Sangeeta ma'am will be taking the session on planning the last quarter. We are moving towards the last quarter of this year. So what you should plan, what you should, what should be your visions, everything will be covered by Sangeeta ma'am. And then Anand sir will cover about the communication skills you should be having, how to communicate with the Leos, with the Lions, with everyone. And that will help you a lot in your life as well. So without wasting any time, moving forward, let's welcome our very first speaker, the first faculty, Sangeeta ma'am, who is with us for the second time in this second session. Sangeeta ma'am, the floor is yours. All are awaiting your presence.
Thank you so much, Vivek. And a very good evening to all of you. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Mohandas ji. Everybody else, come on, wake up. You've got to be right here because the year is not over. And as just now, Anand pepped you guys up with that little music. You've got to pep yourself up. It's just 8:30 p.m. It's just 25th of February. And we have 4 more months to go for this Lions year. And you can't afford to sleep. You can't afford to sit down. You can't afford to put off your videos. You've got to be in action, my dear friends. Is it true or not? What do you say to that? After all, it's all about what you want to do and achieve. When Vivek gives me this topic, planning the last quarter, I assume that each one of you sitting here, each one of you who have very kindly put on your videos today, so that at least we can see who you are and we can interact with you, definitely have a plan. Do you have a plan for the entire year? Did anybody, as a Leo president, as a Leo district president, as the Leo advisor, did you draw up a plan at the beginning of the year? Come on, you've got to speak up. It's not going to be a monologue this time. You've got to speak up. And if you don't speak up, I will unmute you and ask you to speak. So best you speak up. How many of you planned on what you would like to achieve in this Lions year?
You can raise
Leo
your
Kamya.
hands and we'll unmute. Okay.
Leo Kamya. Please unmute yourself. You are the GLT coordinator, I believe.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Yes, you are the GLT coordinator. So when you started the year as a GLT coordinator, did you put up a plan as to what success would mean to you, or when you would be satisfied that, yes, I have done what I was supposed to do?
Yes, ma'am. So, like, I am also the area chairperson of the district. So after serving my year as president last year, this year, first of all, I had planned my year in the sense of having leadership events first, followed by fellowship events. And now we are working on the retention part. So how do we recruit more members? How do we retain the old members? We are working on it, and that's how the plans have been.
Did you have a kind of a target? This is what we want to achieve. If these many members are kept, that is what we would be satisfied with. Did you have a kind of a strategy or a target for that?
Not exactly a target, ma'am, but we had a specified set of events that we'll conduct 3 events every month, and they will incorporate everything that the Leo Club program asks us for.
Okay, so you had planned out some programs, but you did not have a kind of a target. Okay, if we reach here, this is what we would consider as a successful year. You didn't have that kind of a parameter marked out. Do I understand correctly?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Lion Devender Reddy. Could you introduce yourself and tell us which position you occupy? If you could unmute yourself, sir.
Lion Devinder, you
Yes,
can unmute yourself.
you did unmute yourself and then you muted yourself again. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Please speak.
Good evening to you. I'm the advisor for my three clubs: Lions Club of Samaritans, Ignite, Lions Club of Samaritans, Inspire, Lions Club of Samaritans. That is Smart Soldiers.
Wow, great names.
So actually, I'm the charter president of the club, and Anita Galiji is actually mostly she is looking after because she was with us, so she was the advisor. Now since she has left, have taken over, but the most of the work is being done by her only because the children are more close to her and all that. So what our main intention is to retain most of the members, and slowly now the pandemic is over. Now we want to get them onto the ground slowly. All these days they were telling that we are on the pandemic, our parents are not allowing us to go outside and all that. In spite of that, we have done quite a good job. Our boys and girls have done very good job.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, my next question to all of you is, did the pandemic really stop us from doing the Lions or the Leo work that we were doing? Anybody else?
And we have Leo Anish, 320B.
Yes.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Ma'am, I feel that the pandemic didn't stop us, but just put a slight roadblock in our way to actually achieve what we could have achieved. But it didn't exactly stop us from doing what we want to achieve. No, ma'am.
Wonderful.
Even though we had COVID, we had to follow protocols. We did do a lot of service. We did go out. We did meet new people, and there were also many regional meets or district meets and etc. So it didn't exactly stop us. So it was just a roadblock.
Okay.
It delayed it a little.
Excellent, and very well said. That yes. So
he is our very active smart soldier, madam.
Thank you very much. Yes, absolutely. We do understand that we started off with maybe a little gloomy note, hoping that things would improve. Things did not improve. It kind of set us back again. But yes, I wouldn't say the pandemic is over, but I would only say that we have now maybe learned to cope up with the pandemic, and that is how we should go ahead, because honestly, the pandemic isn't really over as yet. There is still that we have to maintain those protocols, and we still have to be careful, and we still have to abide by certain rules. But yes, it did not stop us. So how many of you, anybody else could tell me, did you really make a plan for the year? Honestly, tell me, did you make a plan for your year? You are a Leo advisor or a Leo president. Did you do that? Anybody?
We have Lion Prasant Menon. So you can
yes, I can hear you.
Speak.
Yes, please go ahead.
Lion Prasant, you can unmute and speak. Go on. Okay, we have Leo Lion Pierce Lopez. Pierce, you can unmute and go on.
Yes.
Who's that? Who's speaking? Is that Vivek?
Yes.
It's
no,
me.
Let it be. I can handle it myself. You don't have to do that.
Okay. Okay.
Whoever wants to speak can unmute and speak.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So, hello, my name is Leo Lion Pierce Lopez. I'm currently the president of Leo Club of Kanjumal. And coming forward to your question is that when I was the vice president last year, I did have a set of plans prepared, because since we were hit by the pandemic, there were certain goals that we expected the club would reach as an individual, and we members could achieve as an individual coming together for the club. But when it came to the beginning of the new Leoistic year for us,
Could you be kind enough to put on your video?
I'm having a little network issues. I am trying to connect to another Wi-Fi so I can switch
Okay,
on
all
my
right, all
video.
right. If that's the case, it's fine. Okay, go
Yeah, I
ahead.
will be switching it on, no worries. So coming forward, I did have certain plans and policies coming for this year and major service events. As my profession being a social worker, we've been taught to figure out ways if we are blocked or we are not able to provide service from our point of view or our point of action. And there were certain plans that we couldn't initiate in terms of service, complete service activities because of government restrictions. But yeah,
Mhm.
to get another solution on that part was a task breaking for me, or like a brainstorming thing for me, because we had to keep it active in terms of members, focusing on member growth, focusing on how do we get services in unique way and to sources which cannot be achieved or could not be reached easily. Like speaking in terms of the Kinner community, it was not being touched by anybody. So now we are in touch with one of the social workers and associate of mine.
So you,
Working.
the question was, did you started with a plan, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Planning was
Of
my
course.
basic necessity, because if you don't have a plan, you don't have a
Yes, of course.
target, you cannot achieve.
Exactly. And that's, I am glad to hear that you had a plan. Of course, plans need to, I mean, they should be dynamic. They can
Yeah,
be
it will
flexible.
modify, but if we have something in hand, we can surely work with it, right?
Absolutely. So, what I hear or understand that yes, most of you did have plans, not everybody, but some of you did have a firm plan. This is what we want to do. But of course, circumstances, situations sometimes don't allow us to do that. So now that we've reached the last quarter of this, almost, I mean, reaching the last quarter of this Lion's Year, there is maybe lots that we want to achieve, lots that we want to do. So tell me, any one of you can tell me, what would you like to do in this point of time? You have a huge target still to be fulfilled, you have a still a lot to accomplish. How would you go about doing that? Anybody?
More of strategizing and then kind of delegation of the task among the team members.
Strategizing, delegation, absolutely. What else? Anybody else? Lion Ulreco, are you speaking to me or are you speaking to somebody else? Lion Rodriguez, I can see your mouth moving, but are you speaking to us or are you speaking to somebody else? Okay, anybody else? Come on. What else? What else do you think can we do so that whatever targets that we have left can be achieved in this time? What can we do? How can we make it easier for us? Sometimes when we have a
We
large
can
target moving in front of us, we get scared, overwhelmed, that there's too much to do. Let's forget about it completely. So how do we get out of that mode?
we need to have proper communication within the whole team. So it matters, because if I provide the plan 1 month in advance, so people can schedule in advance that then only people can be present at a particular time for the event, because everyone has separate examinations going on in separate schools. So according to that, we have to plan it out so that the times that we decide for the programs are comfortable for everyone at least 2 weeks in advance.
So what you say is, today, if you have a plan, you must plan in advance. Whatever you want to achieve, give it out. Tell your peers, tell your friends, tell the Leo members well in advance so that they are also prepared. That is the way that you can achieve it. You can't just go last moment and get onto a program and expect people to jump in. That's exactly what you're trying to say, yes? So plan in
Yes.
advance. Okay. So how else? The question again is, how do we complete those targets that we still have looming right in front of us?
Hello, ma'am. This is Leo Aarti from District 324L, District President. So what I think is we should have the same interest that we had in the first quarter to especially achieve in the last quarter. So interest matters. And then I think as a district president, I can use every club and assign them separate tasks so that we can do more things in the last quarter.
Okay, so what comes out of most of your saying is that we need to delegate, right? It can't just be centered into you. So you've got to use those communication skills. You used to use your delegation skills to get people motivated so that they also join you so that your targets are also fulfilled. Right? Anybody else would like to say something else or share something else that
I
you
would
have
like
done
to
probably?
see, like we can do this like dividing everyone into like a small group, and then everyone can go and reach one goal. By this way, we can finish all the goals easily and much faster. So then we can bring in more goals and achieve more, and therefore everything will be on track.
Absolutely. Divide it, divide the work, divide the goals, make it easier, small bite-sized goals maybe, so that it becomes easier and it is more achievable. Yes, Aruba.
This is Aruba Khan from District 305 N1. So basically, I was also saying the same, the division of tasks, and also to set a deadline to achieve the goal. So then we can achieve the task या जो भी हमारे or any activity we are planning to do.
Right. So you all agree on one thing, that we need to have a target, because until and unless we have a target, there is no way that we would know that have you achieved it or not. And your target can be different from everybody else's target. Everybody can't have a uniform target. It can be different. For some, if I get 75% of my target, I am satisfied. For some, if they don't do 110% of the target, they are not satisfied. They want to exceed or better themselves. Is it not right? So my dear friends, my only suggestion to you is, if you are occupying a position in this Leoistic or Linistic year, whatever you call it, if you are occupying a position, if you're wearing a badge which says that you are the Leo district president, Leo multiple district president, Leo advisor, or what have you, whatever you are not an ordinary Leo or an ordinary lion. You are a responsible lion and a responsible Leo. So whatever targets you have, you've got to fulfill them. Because remember, there is nobody else who's going to question you. At the end of the year, there is nobody else who's going to question you, but guess who? When you look at yourself into the mirror, absolutely, Anand, you're absolutely right. The only person who's going to question you and ask you and kind of, really try to find out what happened. The only person who's going to be interested is you. And if you cannot answer yourself, that would be losing your self-esteem. And that can be nothing worse than that. Anybody else? You can find excuses, tell them, oh, we couldn't do it. We had exams. I couldn't do it because there was a pandemic. We can find hundreds of excuses. But to yourself, you know very well that you did not try enough, or you did not give your 100%. So if you do not give your 100% and you do not put your entire passion, your entire excitement, your entire, whatever being into what you position that you occupy, you will not be able to satisfy yourself. It does not mean that we all have to be 100% successful. Many plans that you might have taken up could also, rebound. It could be a flop show. That doesn't matter. At least you tried. That is what is important. It is not important that you succeed in whatever you do, but it is important that you try. Even if you fail, it does not matter. Because as we fail, even then we learn. And learning is what is required in this organization. Learning as a Leo is very important. And whatever we do, we must have that, that very, very strongly etched in our minds, that we learn with every act that we perform. So my dear friends, it's not about being successful. It's not about reaching just your targets. But what is important is that you do not stop trying. You keep up the pace. I do not understand why anybody's pace should go down in the last quarter. In fact, we've all heard the slog overs in any cricket match is the most important ones. That is a time when the maximum runs are scored, is it not? The first overs you don't score runs in the first overs. When do we score the maximum runs? In the last over. Sometimes we don't even believe it. 6s and 4s are hit in the last over. So the maximum you can do is in the last overs. Similarly, in this organization, and as we take up this position in this organization also, it is the last overs which are very important, the last few months. Because whatever, even if you have not worked in the first few months, but if you work in the last few months, nobody is going to remember what you did in the first few months. Remember, people's memory is very short, right? Now, if you worked very hard in the first 6 months and you don't work in the last 4 months, then again, people will remember. What will they remember? That started off but did not really take off. That will be the thing. But even if you don't work for the first 9 months, but in the last quarter, if you do and give it your 100%, people will remember that. That's a little sly trick, but that trick works. And if you want to remain etched in the minds of Leos and Lions alike, that yes, you did whatever was possible, the last quarter is the most important quarter, because that is a time when people will actually remember what you did. And public memory is very, very short-lived. They forget what happened. We forget what happened in the last month, but what is happening in the present is what is important. And as you end your year, if you can give that excitement, if you can get that passion into what you're doing, if you can truly live up and give 100% commitment to the position that you occupy, believe me, you will be able to kind of make people forget what happened earlier, but they will remember your last acts. And those last acts are very important for any Lions here. So do not get sluggish, do not get sluggish, do not get slow. There's nothing called, it's over. It's not over till the last ball is bowled. Remember that. So till the last day, 30th of June, it's your time to perform, your time to give results, your time to do whatever you did not do before. Because remember, after 30th June, you will not be answerable to anybody but to yourself. If you are willing to fool yourself, if you're willing to make your head lower in front of yourself, it's your option, my dear friends. But if you want your head high, you will make sure that the last quarter is the most meaningful and the most exciting quarter, because that is what will make the total difference to where you stand in this organization, how you achieve your results, and how you take yourself forward. I wish you all the best. Don't sleep. Now is the time. You are ready. You've prepared. You've got your experience. You've got your teams in place. You know your team members. All that you have to do is take the last fling, go take that shot and make the best of the 4 months that are there for you. I wish you all success. I wish you all the best. And I truly believe there's nothing called I can rest now. You've got to be better than the best. Wish you all success. Wish you all a wonderful time. And thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This was a beautiful session, and very interactive. I think everyone really enjoyed, very much different than how we started with the technical topics in the last session. I am sure people got to learn a lot of things, and people will be pumped up for the last 4 months, definitely. So it's really not over till the last ball is played, and we still have 4 months to go. You can complete your targets. You can achieve everything you had planned in the initial years, initial months. If you had not planned anything, start the planning from now. We still have 4 months to go. Thank you so much, Sangeeta ma'am. It was a great session. We all really enjoyed. It was above the expectations. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, moving on to our next speaker. He needs no introduction. Lion Anand Mehta, past Leo advisory panelist, a great speaker, a motivational speaker, a business, a corporate trainer, and a most lovable person I have ever met. Past multiple district president of 323 when it was 3231, 3232, 3233, and 3234 combined. We welcome you, sir. The floor is all yours. We are awaiting the most interactive session.
Thank you very, very much, Leo Lion Vivek Singh Pavla. I'm truly inspired by Sangeeta ji. And she used one word which really touched me, which is responsible Leo. Loved it. I want all of you to visualize, in continuation with what Sangeeta ji mentioned, I want all of you to visualize that today is 30th of June. Today is 30th of June, and your multiple district president, or your district president, or your club president, whoever is higher up, has thrown a big party on a great success. have thrown a big party on a great success of the whole year at club level, district level, or multiple level. And all of you are having great time, great dancing, and all of you are having great time. End of the party, when you are going home, that hey, I had a great party, my club, my district, my multiple was amazing, and we were able to achieve so many things. How much I have contributed to that particular number, how much I have contributed to that particular big extravaganza which you are celebrating. Now that's important. That where you do you want to be on the rider's seat, take control, take decisions, implement, or you just want to be on a pillion sit, or you just want to be on a pillion sit where people are going, you will also go. Because the way Leoism, the way Lionism is growing, blooming, growing in ISAME, is going to have a great time. It's purely on you, how much you are willing to contribute and make it big for yourself, for a club, for a district, for a multiple, and whole of ISAME. So once again, a very, very thank you very much, Vivek Singh, for inviting me here. I would also like to thank PID Lion Narendra Bhandari ji for thinking about this and conceptualizing this for the whole Leo integration. My today's subject is going to be communication. And I must tell you, before I start anything or I ask you anything, I was doing the Faculty Development Institute in Mumbai from morning 8 a.m. till 7:45 p.m. And I was wondering that after such a huge hectic day, what will happen to this session? But believe me, after seeing each one of you, after looking at each one of your faces, listening to you, you have been a great source of energy. So thank you very, very much. And let me share that today I'm feeling so happy, it's all because of you. So in the communication, I have a very simple question because it's not going to be a PowerPoint presentation. I only believe I don't need a PPT. I don't need a PowerPoint because my points are going to be powerful. Right? I'm learning something from Sangeeta ji that let's not see with PPT and interact. So I'm going to invite all of you. Please go on a chat box and write down what according to you are the biggest challenges you have in terms of communication. In communication, what are the challenges are you facing? And we'll pick up some challenges from them, and then we'll see how best we can find out a solution of those challenges which all of you are facing. So go on chat box and write down what are the challenges are you facing in communication. Keep writing, keep sharing, guys, keep sharing. And Sangeeta ji, because you are also here and I know that you are amazing in communication, you can also add up to any point whenever you feel like, we are all doing it together.
Excuse me, sir. Another question. I missed. Actually, I rejoined, sir.
Yeah. Yes, Leo Trupti, go on.
Another question have asked, sir, please.
So I have asked any challenges if you're facing in communication. I'm going to invite you to go on chat box and write down.
Challenges of effective communication.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Leo
Okay,
Trupti.
yeah, sure. Thank you, sir.
Wow, guys, amazing points you have put up. And that has given me so much of good vibes. You know why? Because it requires guts. Go on chat box and write down your challenges. When you write confidence, okay, I really wonder, are you really are you lying? Because someone who doesn't have a confidence, how can you go on chat box and write I have a lack of confidence? Your act itself talks and says that you are confident, and that's the reason why you could go and write down. Right? Super. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to collate a couple of interesting points, what all of you are sharing here. Okay, I see a lot of people saying that I don't understand what to communicate, and especially the hesitation in starting the communication, even the confidence. Okay, so let me give you a basic gist of the golden circle of communication. You know, golden circle of communication starts with who. It is 5W and 1H. It starts with who. So you must know who are you going to communicate. Who is your audience? You must know maximum thing about the person whom you're going to interact with. So that's the first important portion of who are you going to communicate. Whether you're going to communicate to a Leo member, to a Lion member, to a local corporator, or your uncle, or your teacher, or your sister, or your parents, or your neighbor, who are you going to communicate? Is there one person, many people, or huge crowd? So till the time you are not very clear with whom are you going to communicate, it becomes difficult for you to frame. Once you know whom are you going to communicate, then you move towards why. And that's most important. Why am I going to communicate? The purpose, the objective needs to be clarified. That when I'm going to communicate to this person, what's the purpose, objective, why I'm going to communicate? To be very honest, number one, we don't do enough research on who are you going to communicate. And then when we go to that person or group of people, we feel, oh, I never knew they're going to be like this. I never knew it's going to be so formal. I never knew they're going to look me like this. And that stops you. Once you know who, most of the time, we don't even think about why are we communicating and objective, what we really want to achieve. We straight away get into what will communicate. What we will communicate. So from who we move to what. In between, why is missing. And when you think why I'm going to communicate, end of this communication, what objective I want to achieve, think on that. Once you have your who clear, who are you going to communicate? Why am I going to communicate? Then comes what. What am I going to communicate? What that person is aware of, which there is no need for me to communicate. What's the designation of that person, which I know from whom? Accordingly, I can frame my communication. Are they going to be liking this, and why would they like it? What is my thoughts to achieve that objective? All that will get into what. Once you are clear on what is primarily your content, your ideas, your thoughts, your feelings, which you put up on a piece of paper based on who and why. Yes, Grishma Soni, go on. Okay, I think that was my mistake. Okay, once you are done with your what, are we going to discuss how can you create your what? Then you move towards how will you communicate? Is it going to be in-person meeting? Is then going to be something like this, video conferencing? Is it going to be through WhatsApp, through email? How? Your channel of communication. And the last point, when and where. Where will you communicate, and where? Time of the day, time of the month, time of the year, time of the hour. When will you communicate, and where will you communicate? Before any communication, and especially if there's going to be one to many people communication, maybe a seminar or a public speaking or anywhere you're going to address the audience as a leader, just follow this order. Who I'm going to communicate? Why am I communicate? What objective I want to achieve at the end? What should I communicate? How will I communicate? When and where? If you are able to form this structure before any communication, I am sure this will help you immensely in building your confidence. Most of the time, we do not have confidence because we lack clarity in our mind. Once we have a great, clear thoughts, there won't be any challenge in terms of our confidence. In fact, people will come to us to clarify their questions, their doubts, and you will suddenly become a talk of the town, right? Super. So thank you very, very much for that point. I'm going to go back to the chat box. Meanwhile, if anyone wants to unmute yourself and give me any specific question pertaining to communication, please go on, because I strongly believe communication is like a meta skill. You know what is meta skill? It is a base of so many skills. So many other skills rely on communication. For example, influencing skills. Without communication, how will you influence? Negotiation skills. Without communication, how will you negotiation? Even skills like decision-making skills. You have made a decision, but now you need to go to your people, your team members to communicate. So there are so many various skills, depends on communication. It's very, very important and how to make our communication perfect and effective. Okay, let me go back to the chat box to find out more challenges which we can discuss. Meanwhile, if you have something that you want to, which is popping up to ask me, please raise your virtual hand and we'll unmute you. Wow, I'm also getting so many people that I feel what other person will think. I must tell you, the half of the world is suffering from a disease, and that disease is not COVID. It's called LKK. Let me use a Hindi full version of LKK is Log Kya Kahenge. Log Kya Kahenge. And I must tell you, most of us, the way I see on the chat box, have the disease. Log Kya Kahenge. I think we must come out of LKK rogue, LKK disease. Because the moment I am sure with my vision, the moment I have right intentions, I am committed to put in efforts. Let's not focus on results, because results are not in your hand. What is in your hand is intentions and efforts. And the more and more you put in efforts with the right intentions, things will happen in your favor. And if it does not happen, don't worry, that's not the end of the story. We can keep working together and keep working so that we achieve what we truly deserve and what we truly desire. So in terms of communication, never ever worry about what others will think as far as you have right intentions. Okay, inability to listen to others. Great point. Communication is incomplete without an excellent listening skills. I'm going to give you a 4-step formula to make yourself suddenly a great listener. So one step is hearing. Few words fell on your ears is just hearing. But if you have kuch suna, some words from my ears, that's just hearing. Now, when the whole sentence comes in your ears and you're able to process those sentence by sentence, you are doing a listening. But that's all. But we need to move beyond that. The next stage is active listening. Now, what do you mean by active listening? Where you are only focusing on the person who is communicating. You are completely focusing on that person. You have full concentration on that person and you are actively listening. Means whatever is the emotions of that person who is communicating to you, you are reflecting those emotions on your face. Let's do a small kind of a role play. So anyone who can narrate a small story to me, anyone who can narrate a small story quickly, it can be personal story, it can be some Leoistic story, anyone, any story quickly. It is not about the story, it's about my facial expression, and it's all about how am I listening to the same thing. Anyone, quickly raise your virtual hand and give me a story. Any success story, any failure story, everything is okay. Story full of emotions. Go for it, guys. Or you can also give me some story of a movie. Hey, Sholay is my favorite story of a Sholay. I'm okay. Quickly, move on to give a story to me. Raise your virtual hand and we'll unmute you quickly. Just to give you a demo on how you should listen. We are waiting.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, actually, I had a story. There was one story writing competition, sir, in our club, in our district. So, can I share that story?
Please go on. Please be brief and please go on. And all of you listen to the story and also see my facial expressions to see how you should listen to the story. Yes, Leo Lanka, Anish, go on.
Yes, sir, just a second. Okay, got it, sir. In a village many years ago, there were two friends, Arya and David. Both of them were very close and never left each other's side. When they finished their education, Arya told David that he wanted to pursue his dream job in another country. David was sad to hear this, but he wanted the best for his friend, so he agreed. But David made Arya promise that he would have to come back to the village precisely after 20 years, and if he didn't, he would have forgotten David. After 20 years, David was walking on the road, eagerly waiting for his friend. After a few months of wandering in the night, waiting for Arya, David had lost hope and thought his friend had forgotten him. He went to a bar where he met a security guard. The guard asked David why he looked depressed. David replied, I had a friend once who swore to come back to this village after 20 years. Today marks the day that he left and he hasn't returned yet. The guard felt sorry for him and said, wherever your friend is, I'm sure he'll come soon. David agreed and talked with the guard for a while. The topic changed to jobs, and the guard asked David, what do you work as anyway? David smiled and said, I have been working as a soldier in the Indian Army for the past 20 years. Wow, I wish I was as brave as you. Okay. David smiled and said, but you are a guard, so you are as brave as I am. The guard chuckled and said, well, the guard revealed himself to be Arya, which shocked David. Arya, I thought you had forgotten me. But how come you pretend to be a god? Well, I just wanted to see if you remembered me, said Arya. The two friends hugged each other and walked out of the bar back to David's house.
Wow, can we all clap for Leo Lanka, guys? Super story, super. Okay, now I would wish anyone who can comment on my facial expressions as a listener. Anyone would like to comment on my facial expressions as...
Can I?
Yeah, please go on. Yeah, Zenha, go on.
Yeah, Zena. Well, what I thought was like with your facial expressions, you were really careful on listening them. And when they know that you are listening to them, they get this enthusiasm. And I felt like that was really important, and you had it on your face, and that was really enlightening. You know, it was empowering. I love listening to it.
Wow. Thank you, Zena. Anyone else want to comment on the facial expression or listening skills? Zena, you very rightly mentioned about it's very, very important. So
Also,
that's...
can I?
Yes, Leo Lanka, go on.
Okay. Sir, when the listener is giving facial expressions and nodding, and it like gives an assurance to the speaker or the person who's talking that yes, the topic is interesting, he should continue to talk. And also facial expression mostly depend on the topic that the speaker is talking about. If it's a sad topic, the facial expressions represent the emotions that the listener is having inside of him. If it is a happy topic, the listener will be happy, his expressions will be happy, and so on and so forth.
So that's a classic example of becoming an active listener. Okay, so whenever someone is communicating to you, you look into that person's eyes, eye-to-eye contact, and also, most importantly, you ensure that you are expressing the emotions which is coming through that person. That's a classic example of active listening. Having understood this, you are completely listening to that person, and that's active listening. Now let's move one step further, which is empathetic listening. And that's a stage which I'm going to invite all of you to be in. When you are listening to someone, don't only listen with your ears, you can also listen with your eyes. Means you are observing that person. The tone of the voice is exactly the emotions expression. So when people express their emotions through tone of voice, we have heard somewhere people saying that, hey, he spoke in an angry tone, or he spoke in a very jovial tone. Means tone is expression of your emotions. So you listen with the tone, you listen with words, and also you the body language, you listen to facial expressions, and through that you try to understand that person better. You reach out to what's there between the words. You reach out to what's there between the lines. You reach out to what's there behind those words, and there are emotions. And when you are able to understand the emotion of the opposite person, that is called an empathetic listening. I see Narendra ji raising his hand. Narendra ji, please go on, sir.
No, that is a miscommunication, Anand. Don't worry. Wrongly, I put my on that icon of raising hand. I'll speak to you at the last.
Ji, thank you very, very much. So here we all discuss about 4 stages of listening. Number 1 is hearing. Number 2 is listening. Number 3 is active listening. Number 4, and the most important, is empathetic listening. And believe me, the moment you become an empathetic listener, that's a great way to showcase your genuine respect to the communicator. Because when you listen to someone, you genuinely give them respect, and the bonding would be much higher, the trust would be much higher, and the love would be much higher. All of us know the full form of Leo is leadership, experience, and opportunity, right? But I want to share a new full form, which is not the official full form, but this is what we all generally feel like, is love each other. Leo is love each other. It's so nice that these kind of activities, initiatives will help you to come more closer to each other. At this point in time, I'm going to thank you, Vivek Singh Pavla. I'm going to thank all of you for being such a wonderful participants and audience. I really enjoyed, and believe me, all the tiredness of FDI has completely gone over, and I was ready to rock. Thank you very, very much. Have a wonderful night. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful session. I think this story thing was the very first time in a session for the Leos, and I'm so proud that Leo Lanka, such a young Leo, Anish from 320B, did this thing. This has actually boosted up the confidence in many of the participants, and they are really excited for the upcoming sessions as well. We had planned Anand sir and Sangeeta ma'am together in session 2, because we wanted to boost up the confidence and boost up the excitement in the middle of the whole of the program. We have total 4 sessions. So thank you so much, Anand sir. And now we would like to have an open session.
Vivek,
Yes,
one second.
Yes, sir.
Because I saw so many questions, and because of the scarcity of time, we are not able to do it. I'm going to put up my mobile number and email on the chat box. So any one of you wish to connect to me on one-to-one to solve any of the query, you are most welcome. Because I strongly believe today I am whatever I am is because of Leoism, and I owe a lot to each one of you. You can take that. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you so much, sir. So here we have the phone number and email ID of Anand sir in the chat box. You all can save that and contact him anytime. He is available at some of the times. Please text him first before calling, because most of the times he is in the sessions. So now I would like to share that we read all the feedbacks which you send. We read all the suggestions which you give us in the Google Forms, and accordingly we try to plan the sessions. So everyone requested to have an open forum, an open session at the end of the main session. So now we will be starting with the open session. Firstly, I would really request PID Narendra Bhandari sir to give a crux of this program. And then everyone and anyone who want to suggest something or give your feedbacks or ask something, the floor is open for everyone. We have around 15 minutes for this open session. So yes, I would like to invite PID Narendra sir. Sir, please, if you can unmute.
Thank you, Vivek, for this opportunity. And let me first congratulate. Now, whom am I congratulating? That's the question. I am congratulating all the 142 participants who have thought it fit at the end of the, or maybe at the mid of the year, they have joined such a training session. You know, when you take off on certain responsibility, and when the time goes by, you feel that you have done your best. But then still, all of you have to learn an interesting and amazing session, and she rightly said that it is very important that people remember the person who is the NI. You know, there can be so many people who start, but if they don't reach the end, people forget them very soon. a very, very effective or maybe very, very important skill that each and every leader should possess has been very simply explained to the participants by Anand. Thank you, Anand and Sangeeta, for
I think there's a network issue with Narendra sir. But yes, we could understand what he spoke.
Lastly, I would like to congratulate Vivek for taking up this training session for the Leos. I would say not only as a responsibility, but with a deep study, what is needed at this right time, and very, very, very nicely planned. They are very useful, and I'm sure all the 142 participants who have attended to the session and the earlier sessions also, they will be our successful future land leaders. I'm saying they will be our future land leaders because they will be really parting a true leadership to their respective clubs. With this, thank you very much, Vivek, once again, and I wish all the participants a great end of 2022. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm really proud to share that today we have Leos from not only from ISAME, but also of the neighboring constitutional areas. The program is enriching and developing in a great way. And Leos from all over the world are now interested to join. We welcome them all. I would also like to mark the presence of Assumption Vas from ISAME office and Nilofer ma'am from the ISAME office. We are really happy to have you with us. Now the floor is open. If anyone has a suggestion or a feedback, Sangeeta ma'am and Anand sir both are here. Please go on. The speakers are open for your doubts and issues.
Hey.
Hello.
I'm Zana Yasser, the president of Leo Club of Payoli, and I feel like I am very grateful to attend the session. The whole session was so connected and also so innovative, the examples and the speech. It was also connecting. I felt like I would really miss it if I didn't attend the session. Thank you so much, everyone, for this wonderful time. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Zena. Is there anyone else?
Hello, Vivek. Can I?
Yes, please go on.
Yeah. Presiding officer and all the line dignitaries and the Leos, good evening. First of all, I have a small suggestion that actually our Leos are very dynamic, I can say, from District 320B. But right now, frankly speaking, all are going through exams. That's the only reason they couldn't attend. And I would request you again to come up in the month of June or so, where definitely I'll see that from our end, maximum, even 500 Leos also we may attend, I can assure you and I can promise you. And I'm really whenever I'm hearing Anand Mehta ji and Sangeeta ma'am, I met her only once in Hyderabad in one of the region meet of Madhumita Bhattacharya, and I love her to the core. The way she speaks, first of all, conveys the message. And Anand ji and as तो यही था कि 1 month I was not well. I had COVID and all, but I want to take that energy from you. I thought I'm here, so I'm feeling a bit good, nice. So I'm really feeling bad that I also missed your session, and I'm proud of our District 320B Lanka Anish, who as soon as you asked, he came up with the story. So मैं तो बोलूँगी कि ये बच्चा मेरा है. So मेरे पूरे जो भी district के हैं, around more than 830 Leos are there, and I am proudly I can say that I'm the mother, I'm the guide, I'm the advisor, and these Leos have made me the most vibrant Leo Club advisor of entire multiple 320 last year. I was the star of the year, which was certified by our MD 320 chairperson Govindraj Garu. So I'm so happy because this Leos made me to shine like this. Thank you so much. That's what I can say from my end.
Thank you so much, ma'am. 320 is really developing in a great way. I am pretty sure it has many heights to achieve right now. As you said, the exams are going on. Yes, we understand the exams. And for the same, we always share the recordings of each of the sessions after the session. So even after the exam, they can watch the recordings. They are there on YouTube and they will be there forever. That was one of the feedbacks and the suggestions by the Leos. I would also like to acknowledge that today most participants were from multiple district 317 and 320 had equal participations. So I am really proud of 317 and 320 today in terms of registrations before the event and presence in the event. So great work, and the most enthusiastic participant of the day goes to our dear Leo Lanka Anish from 320. Congratulations, Anish.
Thank you, sir.
If there is anyone else for the suggestions or feedback, it is okay if you don't write in the chat. You can directly speak up here. We still
Sir,
have.
can I give some feedback?
Hanji, please go on.
Thank you, sir. Today's session was especially interactive, like when compared to the last one, and the way sir was like asking us to interact, tell stories, teaching us all the things while talking to us. It almost felt like I was in school, back at school again, and it wasn't actually an online class. So yeah, it was very, very good.
Thank you, Anish. We also have the WhatsApp groups of the training programs. Currently, we have 3. We started the 3rd one yesterday. 2 are full. I have shared the link in the chat box. You all should join the WhatsApp group because it is important for the faster communication. We share all the links there. We share all the material there. The link is in the chat box. We have Isha Shetty, multiple president of 317, raising her hand. Please, Isha, go on.
Thank you, Vivek. Hello, everybody. My name is Isha Shetty, and I'm the multiple district president of MB317. Firstly, thank you so much for this opportunity. I honestly thought this was very helpful and insightful for people to communicate better, and plan stuff before, and even not give up at the end of the year. So this has definitely boosted me to not just close the year thinking it's the end of the year, but also plan and communicate better. Honestly, I feel like the major drawback with the online or virtual events is that it feels distant. But this particular session, both the sessions, in fact, the major USP was that it felt like we were all together sitting, and that the sessions were right in front of us, and that they were talking to us on the face to face. So that was a good connect. And it felt very warm. Both the speakers were amazing. So thank you so much for that. And definitely Leo Lanka, he is a small boy, but he's so inspiring because all of us, I speak on my behalf when I say that I put up messages in the chat group because I did not want to unmute myself, at least or not. I felt nervous probably, but the amount of confidence he had to just straight up come and tell a story, that was great. So congratulations on that, Leo Lanka, and have a good day, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, here I would like to add one thing. Lanka Anish came up like that because this all confidence we got it from our multiple district, because Mohan Das sir and Govindra sir they'll come up with such things where they have to open up, they have to explore. That experience, aaj wo kaam aa gaya, he immediately started telling the story which he has told in multiple. So I want to thank Devendra Reddy sir. He's the Leo Club advisor for 3 clubs. I was part of that club and I made him to start 3 Leo clubs, and he was the one who has made me to come into this, and he always supported me. Thank you, Devendra Reddy Garu. Thank you.
Always.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I have one small question for Anand ji now, after Anita ji. Can I?
Yes, sir.
Please go on. Please go on.
Anand ji, yeah, please.
Devendra ji, please go on.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your nice class. And actually, I have also been your student in Kathmandu. So I also told you, one of the best teachers.
All of us are co-learners. We are all co-learners, so that's important.
I told you, we are one of the best faculty I have ever met. And Sangeeta ji is not less. I have not, she was not my faculty there, but I have heard I listened to her in so many meetings.
Definitely,
so
please
both
ask
of you
your
are
question.
wonderful. Thank you. But my question is that now you talked about communication, how to listen. But there are occasions where we encounter the people who go on talking. We do not know how to stop them, and they are saying the repeat, and all that. How to cope up with such situation? We can't tell anything, but they waste a lot of your time.
Sangeeta ji would like to comment before I say anything.
We always face that, don't we? And we just don't want to listen anymore. And how do we shut people up? You've got to ask, like what I would do would ask questions that would probably take them away from that monologue or something, try to divert their attention and try to break up the question, keep asking, okay, now you said that, now what do you mean by that? So just take them away and you will have to guide the conversation to maybe somebody else. Okay, what do you think about it? So that you've got to give that person a stop. And many times when you are the speaker and somebody else steals away your show totally, that's the time when you have to be very careful and get it back to yourself. So yeah, there are very many ways it comes out of practice. I'm sure Anand has many tricks up his sleeve.
Number one is ask action question. Action, because people who keep talking, they only keep talking. They don't look at action. So when you ask action questions, and if I'm saying ye hona chahiye, you should do this, you should do this, and you ask a question, can you give me how? How will you achieve this? Now that's a question cannot be answered without thinking. Okay, because you are asking for action. So ask for specific questions, and then you will compel that person to think and reply. And people who keep on talking, generally they keep on talking without thinking. The moment you give a question, which can be called as a leading question, influencing question to start them thinking, I'm sure you'll have your own way. But I also believe that people.
But you can't interrupt them. You can't interrupt them also sometimes.
Okay, then, okay, in that case, with your own body language, speed up. That's a great way to make opposite person feel that he needs to speed up and wind up early. Try this, okay? And I'm sure Sangeeta is doing, I feel, oh, I need to rush up, okay? That's how. No, really, that how your body language communicates much more than what we generally really know, okay? That brings me to one more concept. Next point, next question.
Thank you very much. And though I'm in US and in sub-degree zero temperature, so still because both of you have joined this time, thank you very much. My time is really rewarded. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. We have we have only 3 more minutes for this session. So we have Tanay and Alekhya. Please go on with the questions.
Okay, so this is Tanay from Leo Club of Raipur Ace from District 3233C. What I wanted to point out was Anand's session was great because these skills like such as sticky eyes and big baby pivot, I have read about them multiple times. But when it comes to implementation of those skills, there's no one who's going to come up and tell me how to do them. So like I have to create my own perception of how I am supposed to implement them, due to which there are some flaws. So today what I saw, the implementation and the depiction, that helped me out a lot on what actually I am supposed to do compared to what I have been perceiving in the past. So that helped out a lot. So thank you. It was a wonderful session.
Thank you, Tanay. Before we go to Alekhya, I would really like to announce that the next session is really interesting. We will be having success stories. And you guys will be presenting the success stories. You will be getting the information in the next 2 days, and some of you will be selected for them. So that will also be an interactive session, and there will be one important topic of how to use your resources, whatever resources you are having, how to use them, and that will be taken by Lion Ruchita Mehra. She is from the ISAME office, a Leo turned lion and a great speaker, equivalent to Anand sir, to Sangeeta ma'am, and you all will enjoy that session. So please do not miss the next session on the next of Friday at the same time, 8:30. Yes, Alekhya, please go on a little bit fast.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the opportunity, first of all. So on this platform, I have heard a lot since an hour. So there is one takeaway that I observed that really comes to me first. That is the tone of both the speakers. When Sangeeta ma'am was talking, she was asking us the questions, and right away the question went into me. The tone that they were talking in. So I think I was so much connected with the questions, and I was so much connection with with Anand sir's because communication is something which we learn from the very young age, and we slowly develop. So I think we all relate to relate to that particular topic. And I would just like to thank both the speakers, spending your time, and it's been an amazing listening to you all, with Leos, and giving us time. You shared that energy, that enthusiasm. Though we are from different parts of this world, you shared that from very different distances. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, District President Alekia. So proud you can join. You could join, and I would really encourage you to motivate more and more Leos to join the program in the next sessions. Yes, Srikar, I think you are the okay. We have Sai Deepti as the last after Srikar.
Yes,
Yeah.
today, thank you, Vivek Bapla sir. Today I have learned how to express, how to listen the story, and how we should make the facial expressions of our body language. It is very important to our body language and communication while listening the story. I have learned a new type of communication from Anand Mehta sir today. Thank you, Anand Mehta sir, for your appearance.
Great. Thank you, Srikar. Thank you so much. Yes, Sai.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thanks for the opportunity, first of all, and thanks for encouraging me to join in this session. And thanks to the both speakers who were giving the positive energy to maintain while we are talking to the people and elders and communicating to the greatest great persons. And this is one of the best thing I have to change in my life also, because I am not very good at hearing anything. So this is one of the way to correct ourselves if we are not in that path. And thanks for making me very positive with this session. Thank you so much, and thanks to my Leo advisors, each and everyone who are participating in this session. And very nice to meet you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sai Deepti. We will be sending you the feedback forms. You can definitely fill those forms, and we share those information with the speakers as well. So now, moving on to the end of the program, I request Leo Kamya Milwani to give the vote of thanks.
Sir and ma'am, it is an honor to have you with us. I mean, I was awaiting this session, so that is why Vivek sir has told me that you should take the opportunity and thank them personally. So it is our pleasure to have you here. Anand sir, Sangeeta ma'am, we always look forward to you. And thank you so much for such wonderful insights today. Thank you. And lastly, thank you each one who has been here. And the fun part about today was the graph was constantly progressive. Earlier, we have seen that the graph goes down, but we have been like Anand sir, Sangeeta ma'am, this is your magic that we have the graph progressing in each session. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kamya. So now we will be closing the meeting. Thank you everyone for being with us. Look forward to the recorded sessions and the feedback forms. Thank you, Anand sir. Thank you, Sangeeta ma'am. Meet you all in the next session. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.